Hola Libra, it is me T, aka Cleopatra, and you're watching TTV. This is your reading for Aquarius season. I know Aquarius season is almost over. We are at 23 degrees or 24 degrees of Aquarius, so we have less than a week left before we transition into Pisces season. We're in the third decan of Aquarius season, so this is going to be your current energy and advice for the next 10 days as we transition from being in the energy of fixed air to the energy of mutable water, aka Pisces. So Libra, you are a air sign as well, just like Aquarius, except you and Aquarius, you and Aquarius have different modalities. There are 3 modalities: cardinal, mutable, and fixed. And you, Libra, are cardinal air, and Aquarius is fixed air. So whenever signs share the same modality, oh my God, I'm fumbling over my words, so I do apologize. Mercury is currently, is Mercury in Capricorn? Yeah, Mercury is about to oppose my natal Mercury as it goes into Aquarius. So I'm kind of fumbling a little bit here. I done spent some time ruminating in your energy. That's why your cards are already laid out here. And so I've been really taking some notes and diving into what this energy means for you as we transition through the signs for the next 10 days. So whenever signs are in the same element, that means that they are 120 degrees away from each other, or Aquarius is the 11th house, and Libra, you're the 7th house, so 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 4 houses away, just like 11 is 12, 1, 2, 3, 4 houses away for Gemini. So 120 degree angle, because each house is 30 degrees, since there are 12 houses and 12 signs, and there is 360 degrees in a circle. So when you break up the circle between the 12 zodiacs, that means each sign is 30 degrees. And as there are 30 days that the sun transitions between each sign, which is why we're currently 23 and 24 degrees of Aquarius, because there are 30 days. And in those 30 days, they're broken up into 10. For, the first 10, the second 10, and the third 10 are considered to be decans in astrology. And so we are in the third decan of Aquarius. And we are going to be moving into the first decan of Pisces. So I said all that to say, with you, Libra, being an air sign, and your sister sign, Aquarius, when I say sister sign, technically your sister sign is Taurus, because you and Taurus both rule the planet Venus, but I mean sister in the aspect of, or would it be brother? I don't know. I guess it would be your sibling sign, basically. Your sibling sign. Technically, you and Aquarius are both, air is a masculine energy, but Aquarius is a masculine sign, and Libra is also a masculine sign. So you guys are left brain, you're very logical, and because there is a 150 degree angle between you all, you create the aspect in astrology. There are minor aspects and there are major aspects. The major aspects being sextiles, oppositions, conjunctions, and trines and squares. And so whenever planets or signs specifically share the same element, they are trining one another. So you and Aquarius are trine signs, and a trine creates harmony, a harmonious flow. It's a flowing energy. So your setup was a little different from the last 2 readings that I did. I did Sagittarius and Pisces. You may or may not be drawn to those signs, considering if you have... Oh, calm down. Considering if you have those energies in your chart. But if you do have a lot of energies in either the planet Sagittarius, the planet Jupiter specifically, because Jupiter and Pisces rule the same planet, or if you have a lot of energies or planets in the 9th house, the 12th house, or Sagittarius, Pisces, or Jupiter, or Neptune, I would definitely check that out. Especially if you're a Libra sun in the 9th house or the 12th house, or if you're a Libra moon in the 9th house or 12th house, or if you're a Libra rising, like myself. So Your setup was a little different. There's still the energy of past, present, and future, right? Past, present, and future. And then we have, this is going to be your conscious energy, but you couldn't really see it, but conscious energy, and then this is the subconscious energy, and this is the current energy, right? Okay, so let me see, make this, let's leave it how it is. You can see, even though, well, let me see, move these up some so you have a little, there we go. So, your conscious energy, your as above energy, so below, as above, so below. Your conscious energy is Aries. Now, Libra, your opposite sign, which means that you are on a polar axis here, is Aries. So your conscious Aries, your conscious energy is the energy that is opposing to you. You being cardinal air and Aries being cardinal fire. Now, there is a little bit of fire energy here. When I pulled the actual tarot, the overall energy that came out was the King of Wands, which fire energy is about action, direction, and movement. And we got fire here, we got fire here, but overall there's a lot of air energy with the spades. So what that tells me is that you are, Libra is about balance and harmony. So I'm getting that you are very balanced at this time. There isn't an energy that's saying that you're unbalanced, but there is an energy with your oracle cards being, let me show you. So the first card I got for the past energy, I was shuffling and then these three cards popped out. And the reason why I kept them is because the names are kind of similar. So this says Offset Temple, number 5, and it says Sacred Ceremony. Okay? So then we have, for the present energy, Horus, Bark, I don't know how to pronounce that. And it's the number 16 or 7, which is your number. It says Sacred Union. So the two sacred energies for the past and the present. And then we have the scarab beetle, scarab. And it says number 33, spiritual transformation. Now, like I said, these cards got pulled first, and then I went in and drew my cards that I made myself that have the numbers, planets, and signs on them. And the reason that I thought this was interesting was because Pluto actually is the planet that deals with transformation. So for that to come out in the same area, the subconscious, and then the future. And then Aries and Pluto have something in common because Pluto is ruled by Scorpio, and Scorpio is Aries co-sign because they both co-rule the planet Mars together, except Scorpio or Pluto energy, Scorpio energy is the nighttime of Mars. So we're dealing with your opposite energy. So the 7 of spades right here has to deal with some type of opposing thought or some type of communication that was opposing something. And with the energy of 3, I was really trying to figure out what that meant. So let's just look at the cards here. In your past energy, we have the hanged woman in reverse, or the hanged man, the hanged woman. So in the past, I'm getting that you could have been in some type of thought process that you were trying to stick true to. And it was almost like you were in a stubborn mindset. Because whatever it is that you were thinking, or message you were trying to relay, or whatever it is you were trying to communicate to the outside world, or whatever information could have been communicated to you from the divine or from the universe or from your spirit guides, you weren't necessarily grasping. Now, this could be the understanding of maybe divine law, because like air signs, and especially Libra and Aquarius, are very left brain. a lot of time, like, you guys are really logical and rational signs. So whereas fire and water signs are intuitive and can see things that are, they can really delve into the subconscious world, whereas you guys see things for what it is. You call it like you see it. And so it could have been hard for you to really grasp and understand the concept of the divine. Or maybe you had a misinterpretation of spirituality. You probably had a misinterpretation. Or maybe you could have been getting in arguments about spirituality or religion or God. And then I feel like you came into understanding of what God really was. And then you started to see how God energy manifests within you. But you didn't want to take from the energy of the divine by laying claims to it on you as a person. And so there was like a disconnect between the messages that the divine were trying to give you, because you were really in your left brain. There wasn't necessarily an imbalance between the left and the right brain, but there was a lack of understanding. Let me see. So this is number 5. So the more you got into these conversations about who and what God really was, you started to realize that there was more and more questions that you had, that things that you thought you knew weren't necessarily adding up or making sense to you. So you found yourself going within and connecting deep. You weren't just looking at things for face value. You were taking it upon yourself to gain some type of wisdom and connect with your God, your higher self, and your spiritual. But I'm just getting that it was a hard concept for you to grasp, because it wasn't that you didn't know God, but you had a misconception of what God energy really was, because you weren't seeing God energy within yourself. So then, through time, you poured into yourself, and I see you maybe you were putting a lot of your thoughts and ideas onto paper, and you kept being drawn back to this idea of spirituality. And you could have grown up in a family that was very religious, and so there were a lot of laws and rules and things that didn't really make sense to you because you saw them as a bias. And as a Libra, you feel like the scales should be balanced, and you didn't think that, you felt like with a lot of like the religious points of views that it kind of casted out other people that necessarily didn't need to cast out, because God energy necessarily, unless it's an energy that's a low level entity, which low level entities are entities not of God, but more so of like devil energy. So you felt like if God energy is divine and whole and love, then why is there hate towards certain type of people, and why are people who claim themselves to be religious have such hateful energy? That's, so then I see you starting to maybe go out and find answers for yourself, and not just really taking things for face value, not just allowing someone to tell you what God is when you don't feel like those people were a reflection of God. And so also the 7 of Swords, like traditionally, I see a lot of other readers talk about how the 7 of Swords has to deal with secrets and illusions. So I think maybe you started to begin to tap into secret knowledge. And that's not to say that air signs are not intuitive. They can be intuitive, but you guys are more rational, which means that you probably needed to like watch some type of documentary or listen to some type of podcast or read some type of other texts that kind of connected the dots for you, even if that meant going back and doing a past life regression and seeing where your ancestors and your family came from. Like, for example, if your people are like from the West Indies or from the Like if you, for example, if your ancestors were descendants of slaves or a part of the triangle, what is it called? The triangle that was traded in the Caribbean. And you started to think, okay, well, my people practice this type of either hoodoo or brujeria, and it really connected you to who you were, and it made sense to you than just reading maybe the Bible or the Quran or the Torah, and you just gained more wisdom. And as you gain more wisdom, it kind of made you look like a rebel to what you were taught. And with the rebel, the Aquarius actually rules rebellion, innovation, the collective. And so I feel like so connecting the energy of Libra and Aquarius is it's like you are trying to, it's almost like you're bringing a harmonious energy to the collective to stop people from being hateful towards certain people if we're supposed to be people and children and energies of God and divine. Because it's like people, what is the word? It's like they're being hypocritical in their speech by claiming to be of God, but then to be spewing negative and hateful energy. So I see you not resonating with that and wanting to change that narrative. I'm just looking at my notes here. One of the channel songs I got since Aquarius rules the 7th house, since you, Libra, rule the 7th house and Aquarius rules the 11th house, is 7-11, that's 7 twice, that's 7 twice, by Beyonce. Like Beyonce, like me. Okay, let's get back on track here. So, going into your present energy, well, I see you not really wanting to accept what it was. You weren't just going to go for the okie doke. You were tapping into divine energy and channeling the divine simply by going out and seeking truth and knowledge. It's like you are the messenger for God, bringing divine wisdom and justice through telling everyone what it's supposed to be. And that's where the opposition came from, because there are people around you who, when you had these ideas, they tried to tell you, no, that's not what we believe. We don't do that. It's not up to you to go and try to make these decisions. And it's like almost taking away your sort of independence by saying that it's not up to you to go into depth and that you should just accept what it is you're taught. Now, Aries energy, with it being your opposite, you, Libra, you're more so about balance, reciprocity, equal give and take, whereas Aries is about wholly the self, which is why the sun is exalted. I believe the sun is exalted in Aries, meaning exaltation is a dignity. Like you have your home, which the sun rules ego, and the sun is ruled by Leo. Mars, as I mentioned before, is the planet that rules Aries, just like Venus is the planet that rules you, Libra. So in the opposition between Libra and Venus, between Libra and Venus and Aries and Mars, is that Libra is about love, is about romance, is about harmony, whereas Aries is almost about like destruction, action, aggression, passion, like taking all things into emotion, whereas Libra, you take everything into account. And air signs have a tendency to do that, whereas the third house Gemini has to take factors things into account, like the self, how it affects other people, how it comes off through communication, whereas Aquarius factors everyone in, because Aquarius is the humanitarian of the collective. And then you, Libra, you are love, and love is to be able to see that even though humans and things are flawed, that there is still love deep down, and to be able to spread that love. Whereas Aries is like, no, we're going to destroy and start over. It's the Tower card. We're going to destroy. And ironically about the Tower card is that Aquarius comes after the Tower card. Aquarius is known as the humanitarian because Aquarius rebuilds humanity after the destruction of the Tower or Mars energy. So right now, what you're doing is what you were and what you are doing, Libra, is that you're dismantling this narrative that does not reflect divine law or mayat. I'll write that. I'll put make sure to check the description box, because I will put these terminologies and notes in the description box too, so that way you can understand what I'm saying as far as like trines and dignities, exaltation, mayat, all of that stuff. I'm going to put in the description box, as well as the channel songs that I wrote and the decans. So these next 10 days, as we transition from Aquarius season into Pisces season, you are being a direct reflection of what love truly is, and you are showing people what it is to what love looks like. Especially like in Aquarius, like during the month of February is when Aquarius season. I mean, my goodness, I cannot talk today. I did not have this issue yesterday. But anywho, Aquarius season, February, is when Valentine's Day happens. And Valentine's Day is supposed to be, even though I believe, what is it, the birth of Nebuchadnezzar, or is that December 25th? I don't know. I think it's December 25th. I don't know how much. Like I said, I'll put in the description box what Valentine's Day really means. I don't even remember, because I don't acknowledge Valentine's Day, but I'm acknowledging here in the reading to bring notes of the fact that it's in the month of February, which is the season of Aquarius. And it's like, people have this misconception of what love is supposed to be. Now, when Libras are in their toxic energy, you know, you guys are blind to love. You can just give out love more than you are receiving it, or give out love to people that don't deserve it. A very attraction to karma. But when the positive side of Libra is bringing balance to karma and not attracting negative situation, but how can I put this? It's like when Libra is in its positive aspect, karma is in the sense of where justice is served. Like justice, you make just due where it is deserved. Meaning that for the energies that deserve to be prosecuted, they're prosecuting. For the energies that deserve triumph and justice. Justice is the word that I'm looking for. Not necessarily karma, because karma is Saturn, but it's justice. Like, what did Sailor Moon say? She was like, no, she says, in the name of the moon, I punish you. No, it's something about like justice. And there's this book I saw, or the sayings, all fair in love and war. So it's like, that's another thing. Aries is the war planet, whereas you are the lover planet. So it's like right now you are bringing the balance between love and war. You're being a warrior for justice. You're being a warrior for love, and you're bringing justice to those who have been done wrong out of their ignorance, because you are now spreading this wisdom that you have learned by either continuing to study or continuing to release yourself from these shackles that your ancestors have been held in due to misinformation about who the divine really was and what the law of nature actually requires. The law of nature being, as human, we all know the difference between right and wrong, but because there were certain narratives that have been pushed over time, a lot of people have lost their ancient tradition of what their people used to practice, because if you were practicing certain things, you would get killed or you would get sent to prison, and now you're like bringing that back. Like I said, you're a messenger, almost like a conduit for that, for the divine. So you yourself are being a martyr, which is almost unlike Libran energy, but at the same time it's alongside your axes. So you could have you could be a Libra with a lot of fire in your chart, or you maybe your annual perfection year is the first house, and you are tapping into, maybe, what does that mean, that you're means that you're turning either 13, you're turning 13, 12, you're turning 25, 12, 24, 30. You could be turning 35 or 36, 37, something like that. So you're in your first house annual perfection year, or maybe you are in your third house annual perfection year, meaning that you are, let's see, 12, turning 27 or 28, or you could be in your seventh house perfection year, something like that. And I'll write perfection years in the description box as well. But needless to say, there could be an emphasis on you trying to tap into your opposite energy. Maybe Aquarius is in your first house, or maybe you have Mars in the 11th house. That would be interesting. So it's like you're fighting for a cause. You are all fair in love and war, basically. So right now I see you with this energy. It says sacred union. So it's like you have now come into understanding of God energy, and you're not allowing people to continuing to spew a false narrative. It's like you're killing off any energies. Hopefully I don't get flagged for that, but you are destroying and being a martyr for any energy that is lying in God's name. It's like using God's name in vain. And by coming into understanding of who you are, by doing shadow work, it's like you've been doing the shadow work for a long time, inadvertently, because you just didn't resonate with the energy of people trying to make you believe that this religion or these things were right, when it's like it's not right, and you don't agree with it. And it's causing maybe a lot of people in your community or family to disagree with you, and it's like you're not aligning with them, and you're realizing that you don't align with those things, and you wanted to hold on for tradition's sake or for family, but then you just realize as you're not really a yes man. You are showing people how to love, and you are being a reflection of God. So then, like now in your current energy, I see you having some type of idea, like you are helping people do shadow work. You are helping people dismantle these ideas, and you are bringing new ways of thinking to people. Because you could have been into spirituality like a little bit, but you could be learning more and more. Like you could possibly be learning about more astrology, and you could be helping people understand, oh, that's what it is. So growing up, you probably were taught that astrology was bad and that we don't do astrology and X, Y, and Z. And now you're starting to see that most people, you're just learning more about astrology, and you're being able to pick up on nuances that make you believe that astrology is right, because you're like, the more I learn about astrology and the more I realize what people's different signs are, then I'm understanding that astrology is real, because people literally act like these energies of their signs. Now, some people might act like it more than the others, because as you begin to study astrology more, you realize that we all contain all 12 signs of the zodiac in our charts, and we all contain the energies of the planets, but some more than others. Whereas if you look at the dignitaries, some planets have weaker diluted energy, and some of them have a more stronger emphasized energy. For example, you being a Libra, you being a Libra sun, the sun actually does not like to be in the sign of Libra, but Libra is ruled by the planet Venus. Aries, your opposite energy, likes to be in the sign of, likes to be a sun sign, and that's because the sun has to deal with the self and the ego, whereas you, as love, a lot of times people try to say God is love. Love is a very high vibrational energy. It's a very high vibrational, whereas anger is a low vibrational energy. Although anger is warranted, everything, there's an ebb and flow to everything, there's a spectrum, everything is needed. Like if there, okay, I'm going too far on a tangent, I'm not gonna go there. But you are learning more about yourself. I see you realizing what you could be looking at your north node. Your north node could be in Aries, and that could be interesting to you, or in Gemini, and that could be interesting to you since that is your opposing energy. And you could be realizing like, wow, like I'm a Libra sun this lifetime, but in my last lifetime, I mastered Libra energy, and now I'm here to utilize my opposing energy from what I knew before. Now, if you're not learning about astrology, then I would suggest that you figure out what your natal chart is, and all you need is your birth time, your birth location, and your birthday. And if you don't know your birth time, what you can do is you can utilize your birthday and go from there, and then learn, like, do more research to try to figure out what energies you feel like your moon and your rising sign could be, and that could help you. Like, do you feel like more of a daytime person or a nighttime person? Like, you'll know. It'll make sense once you research more, but you have to take it upon yourself to do that. But if you are not, because both of these cards have to do with, some type of transformation, but they're in reverse. Now, if you feel stuck, Libra, it's because you are needing to research your chart, and it will make you feel balanced again, to understand where it is that because it's something that you should be doing in life. But I feel like you're not unbalanced, but you feel almost like something is missing. And as a Libra, like, you're always looking to balance the scales. So there's always going to be some need and search for balancing. Like, it's kind of like the scales are completely balanced, right? The scales, they're completely balanced, but they could be a little bit more balanced. Could be a little bit more balanced, just a little bit more. Just, we gotta have perfect balance. It's all about perfection and symmetry. And so you are tipping the scales even more and more, because you know that there's more. Is there more? I'm hearing, is there more about Drake? Like, you're like, is there more? And then you're like, no, it's not. That's not enough for you. It's not enough for you to just take that and just go with it. Like, the more you know, the more the scales are tipping, and you feel like there's more, and like your balance scales are still not balanced. So it's like your soul is yearning for more information, because you know that it was something like you, like, now you're starting to realize why astrology wasn't taught the more you learn it, because it's such an ancient knowledge. It's such a profound resource. And that's why so many people have the problems that they've had, because we've all been mind controlled and under a state of hypnosis, because our true identity was taken from us. And that also has to deal with the wisdom of astrology, and people knowing their charts and what their true destiny is and was, and what energies that they're missing and lacking, and how they can use that to do shadow work and be the best versions of themselves, and how they can use that energy to connect better with the world and with their surroundings, and really do the work that you're supposed to do. Whether it's, you could be working a 9-to-5, and even though you might be getting paid well, you don't feel fulfilled, because you are just doing this just for the hell of it, because you know that you have to survive on this 3D earth plane. But you could be really into, like, maybe you have a good eye for seeing what looks good on people, and you, even though it may not be as lucrative as the job that you have now, you know that you have a talent for seeing the fine details, and you feel like you will feel more fulfilled and satisfied with yourself as a person, just going through instead of just going through the mundane. If you were doing something that aligned with your passion, if something that was aligned with you, and not just doing it because you feel like it's right, and because you were growing up to think like you just go ahead and get a job and then live a life and maintain a job and you die. No, you don't want that for yourself. You want to feel the deepest forms of love, and in order to do that, you have to be able to stand up for yourself and allow yourself to let go of the harnesses that are like a safety net for you, and let go and just really do what it is that you know your divine purpose really is. And that's how you will transmute the energy of love through yourself, and through, like, from the divine through yourself and out into the world. It's like, even if you're not going out on a mission saying, I'm going to teach love, it doesn't have to necessarily be in that. By embodying the energy of love, you are dismantling and removing all energies that oppose that, because you are that energy. I know you feel me. So let me look at my notes. So your current energy is 8, 4. Yeah, so right now, hold on, let me see. So you got the 6 on 1. I see you taking baby steps, sharing ideas with different people. You could be talking to a lot of, like, feminine energy. You could be communicating with a lot of women, because you might know, and whether you're a man or a woman, you could notice that there are a lot of women who like astrology, and so you could just be using that as like your little mini research project. Like, okay, let me think about all the, like, you probably scrolling on Instagram like, oh, this girl I think is cute, and then you find another girl, you're like, oh, she's pretty, or you find another girl and you're like, oh, she dresses really well, and then you find another girl who really likes astrology, and then you find another girl and you look at her bio and she says she's a Pisces. So now you're taking these five different girls and you're using them as your little mini research experiment, and they just so happen to all be into astrology, right? And you know what their signs are, and as you study about their signs, because you want to be able to learn more about them, that's love. Like, the loving energy is to be able to want to know someone and to see those parts of, you know, each other and you. And because, like I said, we all have the same energies in our charts. Some of us just have them stronger and some of us have them weaker, whereas like we have to, in order, like a natal chart is a tool. And if you have a tool belt, and if your natal chart is your tool belt, then maybe you need a flashlight and you don't have a flashlight, but you have to make do with what you have. And if you know that, okay, I'm a person that doesn't have a flashlight, but I know this person has a flashlight, if you know where to get it, then you know that, okay, I don't ever have a flashlight, but okay, if you don't have a flashlight, how are you going to see? What are you going to do to make it so that you can see? Now, you're not going to be able to necessarily, you might not be able to ever go and add a flashlight to your tool belt because there's no more space left. You have space for all the things that you're utilizing right now. But you know that you can coincide with someone who has a flashlight already a part of their tool belt, and whenever you need it, you know that you can call to them, just like you can call to the divine. And that's how, what I see you doing right now is utilizing your resources, utilizing the people around you and helping them understand yourself better and helping you transmute the energy of love. Because like I said, you're pretty much in harmony right now, Libra, because you're doing what it is you're supposed to be doing. But you have to utilize, well, I see you already doing that, and the conscious energy is utilizing, what you are doing right now is utilizing your opposing energy, but what you're having a hard time doing is letting go what you already know. Because, and this happens a lot of times when it comes to our karma and when it comes to healing and when we're supposed to be a part of our mission for this life, you can't just necessarily pick your family or choose a new family. But you're realizing that your family is the reason why you have, it doesn't have to be your family, but I'm hearing that your family could be the direct reason why you feel like you're not where you should be in your spiritual journey, or where you may want to be in your life. Like, if you were to look at your life and, you know, from a macrocosm, like as the grand scheme of things, when you were probably like 7 or 8, you were like, man, I wanted to be an astronaut, or I wanted to be a rapper or a fashion designer, or I wanted to be a painter. But instead you're working a 9 to 5, and you feel like you're wasting your life away just doing this just to maintain money. And it's like, yeah, money's good, but, you know, as an energy of love, like, you don't really necessarily resonate with the energy of money. Yeah, it's nice to have money because you can buy things that make you feel happy, and those things you can, like, money can't buy you love. Like, as a Libra, love is deeper than the material things. Like, even though you can love the things you have, you can love the things that you're wearing, and you can love how you look, it's like you are yearning for that deep energy of love, and that which God is in its purest form, which is love. And so you are having a hard time releasing that energy. So I'm hearing that, like, I think you don't need to heal your heart chakra, but you need to research the heart chakra. But where I'm seeing that you're having issues is issues around your solar plexus chakra, because of the orange here, and because of the overall energy being the King of Wands here. I'll put this right here so you can see the King of Wands. Now, the Wands energy is ruled by fire, just like Aries, and fire is about movement, aggression, passion, action. And so you got action. You want action. Like, you it's kind of like a, what is it, like I'm seeing a romance. It's kind of like Spider-Man or Superman, like the relationship between Superman and Wonder Woman, or Superman and whoever his Lois Lane, whoever his love interest was. It's like superhero by day and night, but at the same time he had his heart yearns for Lois Lane. Or I hope I got that right. Like, I do not watch, the only superheroes I pay attention to are the X-Men. You hear me? So please don't shade me for not knowing about the DC comic book characters, because I don't know. But clearly I do, because I used to watch Smallville. Like, I know. Don't come for me. I didn't send for you, Libra. Don't do that. We here together, right? We here. We supposed to be here. We trying to be here. We trying to love. Holla. Holla. Don't do that. Not too much, okay? So, now, in your present energy, Libra, your present energy. It could be like, you could be having a hard time. Maybe, okay. If you're masculine, I see you trying to teach your homies, your homeboys, your brothers about astrology. Now, if you're feminine, I see you also trying to teach your homies, but maybe you're trying to teach some guys about astrology and their sign, and people are just really not trying to hear it. And it's like kind of upsetting you because you feel like people are not being open to what it is you're trying to hear, and you being a loving person, you feel like it's almost like they're shading you, like shading your love language, because they're not trying to be open to understanding what it is that you are learning about. Because if someone loved you, they would at least give you the benefit of the doubt to be open to understanding it, because you are presenting a tool that you feel like is knowledgeable. Because if it was the Bible or any other, or the Quran or religion, people would be quick to be like, oh yeah, cool, whatever, read it and then let it go, and nothing, and it's just gone with the wind, just like a page in a book turning with the wind. But instead, astrology is here to stay. It's embedded within everyone. It's embedded. You could look at your cat's natal chart. You could look at the natal chart of Google or freaking Walmart. Like, everything has a natal chart as long as there is a birth and a death. And so, since Pluto rules birth and death, and like especially death, but with it being in reverse, it gives me birthing energy. And the solar plexus has to do with our ability to create and our ability to be able to birth things. And I see you wanting to bring, like, right now, these next 10 days, as we go from Aquarius season to Pisces season, because like I said, Aquarius and Libra, both being air signs, create a harmonious flow. And I see you really flowing in understanding as you are using your psychological efforts to, and I say psychological because as an air sign, there's less emphasis on the intuition, but your way of being intuitive is through using psychology, because at the end of the day, psychology is an aspect of science, just like astrology, but it's less metaphysical. It's easier for people to grasp. So you're using the psychology aspect of it. You're these 5 people that you have around you that you're using as your research test subjects that are literally acting out as the archetypes of their signs. You're using that by understanding how to communicate. Like, you're learning how to speak people's love language by understanding them better, because maybe in the past you had a hard time really just like, you just been like, okay, that's just so-and-so, or they just act like that, or that's just how they are. But now you're being able to attach meaning to it in science and being like, no, this is why they act like that. And at the same time, it's not necessarily acceptable. Like, yeah, they're like that, but you're not just, like I said, going for the okie doke. You're literally telling people about themselves and helping them grow. And as you're trying to help people grow, you're realizing how people are also in their shadow selves and they don't necessarily want to grow. And I got some tea here. Might have to do a reading on what's the tea. This tea's over there. I'm drinking green tea with ginger probiotic, and I added like literally 3 tablespoons of honey because it was so bland, but also because I have like this fat cup. So yeah. You're learning how to, with your solar plexus, you are learning how to speak people's language. Let's see. It's like you are going through a transformation and the people around you are barely noticing it because they're stuck in their egos and because they're stuck in their ways and they don't want to grow. They just feel like time goes on and they're wasting. Like, if you're the type of person who you just feel like life goes on, time goes on, you're literally wasting your life because you have all the time in the world to be and be whoever it is you want to be and do whatever you want to do, and you can transform as many times as you want to. Even whether you're changing for the negative, like you're doing shadow work and you're healing parts of yourself, or you're changing for the better and you just want to keep being a different version of yourself, because you know that, you know, we overlap timelines and there's multiple dimensions and realms and realities, and everyone is the creator. Even though the divine creates all of us, we are the direct creators of our own lives, especially when we come into knowledge of who God is and the tools and resources he has put here for us to understand. And it's kind of like annoying you that people are so stubborn and ignorant, and that they choose to be ignorant. But you're also realizing that that's not your problem, but you can take it for what it is and use it as your knowledge and go forward. And everybody, it's up to them to be able to, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink. And you're at that point. You're like, I'm not going to keep accepting and aligning with these people. Like, it's like you love these people because you are loved. You love these people, but you're also willing to let it go because it doesn't align with what you're trying to align with. And people might feel like you're being shady because of that, but the more you come into alignment with yourself, if they're really supposed to be in your life, they will look at you as an example, and they'll come back years later or days later, weeks later, and they'll be like, I'm seeing maybe by like March or April, they'll come back and be like, well, I just learned so and so and so, and you looking at them low-key, try not to side out. I'm like, I've been told you that, but okay. But everybody has to learn at their own pace. But I see you really being in your energy, Libra. I'm really proud of you. You've done a lot of healing work, and with your future energy being the scarab, number 33, spiritual transformation. You, hold on, there we go. Oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry. You have learned, let me see. I feel like you, which is the perfect name for a Libra, like Libras love harmony, Libras love balance, but nothing is more, and Libras also love symmetry and perfection, but nothing is more perfect than divine law, divine love. Nothing is more perfect than God. Libra ruling over the 7th house, the number 7, having to do with the number that people usually define as the God number. Nothing is more perfect than love. Nothing is more perfect than God. And being a Libra, love perfection, you want to be a direct reflection of God. That's so beautiful. Your energy is so beautiful, Libra. And you may not have had the most favorable situations in love, but you are forgiving yourself and you're forgiving people because you understand that, you know, there's ebbs and flows to life. You're utilizing your Aries energy by being a martyr for a cause, and that is all's fair in love and war. Sometimes it feels unfair, but the scales have to be balanced. Now, for your future energy, for the next 10 days, as we go from Aquarius season to as we go from Aquarius season to Pisces season, so we got, even though this is I didn't really even talk about this card, but I did, but like not specifically. So the thing with this 9 of Cups, it's in reverse, but then we got the 9 of Wands. You will start to receive, especially going into Pisces season, because Pisces has to deal with the unseen, and this is Pisces energy too, but it has to deal with the unseen and intuition. You will start to realize your intuitive abilities. And after you stop trying to get everyone to just get along and understand what it is that you know, people will start to see you as a light. They'll look at you and they'll feel God energy. They'll look at you and they will see that divine light. And you will be inadvertently teaching people balance. You may start to notice a lot of people in toxic relationships, maybe on Facebook. You may notice that you may start seeing like on social media, like a lot of celebrities and their beef that they have in their arguments. And you're just like, relationships are supposed to be harmonious. Like, we should know about the negative things that happen in a relationship. You shouldn't see people who are known to be together arguing and going against one another. That's not what love and relationships are about. And if so, then you guys are not meant to be together. But people are such in a toxic energy that they're not willing to let go. If you're not able to let go a toxic partner, that means that one, you don't have control of your life. Two, you're not in true knowledge of what God energy is. You're in a low vibration. You're connecting to low level frequency, like the devil or an ungodly energy. You're allowing entities to connect to you, and you don't want that for yourself. You want to create a lineage that is opening up to divine wisdom. You don't want to be in some toxic situation and then have children and it affects them and then they have children. Now you're creating a continuous cycle of generational trauma. Like, Libra, you could very much have come out of a loving energy. And even if you didn't, that's okay, because say, for example, you didn't, like, your parents or your grandparents may not have had the best relationships, but you have always been the type of person where you strive and you like yearn for the best relationship, because you know that that's what it means. And that's what brings me to this 3 here. The connection between the divine feminine and the divine masculine creates, oh my God, yes, that's what it is. Yes. Allahu Akbar. That's what it is. Because when the divine feminine and the divine masculine mesh, right, they create sacred union that becomes the 333 energy, which is holy matrimony. Holy matrimony being the divine feminine, the divine masculine, and God. The 3 energy, the trine, or as we call it, trining, just like Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, trining. Feminine, masculine, or masculine, feminine, and the divine. Holy matrimony. The mind, the body, and the soul. Oh my God. Y'all okay up there? Hold on. Let me see if I can find that. Hey, cut all that out. Cut all that noise. I have a card. See, and then whenever you create an energy of love. A baby is love. Like, there are plenty of babies that are creative out of love, but you are healing the frequency of this earth by not just accepting anything and wanting to be a reflection of holy matrimony. Mind, body, and soul, that balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine and God. And you feel sad whenever you see people in unhappy relationships or people being bitter because of hurts that they had before in old relationships and it not working. And you knowing that there's so many people here on this earth, and let go and don't be in a negative energy of hate because of what happened to you. Just take that and learn and be love. But so many people, they are in an energy of revenge and they want vengeance, and vengeance is not an energy of love. And you don't want that to even exist here on this planet, because this planet is what gives us life. This planet is, even through all the negative things about it, this planet was created by the divine, and the divine is perfection. And here, when we are not being a reflection of perfection and love, that's showing how much we don't like this world that the divine created for us. Showing ungratefulness. And you, I'm seeing, are teaching the people around you how to be a better partner, how to be a better lover, how to love themselves more. And how to, like, with you being an air sign, and healing your solar plexus or working on your solar plexus, because I'm seeing that some of you, a small percentage of you need to heal your solar plexus, but then there's another percentage of you who don't need to necessarily heal it, but you need to work on it, as in giving it more energy. And you can do that by utilizing, these are red crystals, but red. We got the mahogany obsidian, the red jasper and a carnelian, red carnelian, and the red jasper. And then we got the pyrite crystal, also known as fool's gold. This is a good crystal to use for the solar plexus, because the solar plexus has has to do with creativity. This carnelian is good for solar plexus energy also. Come on, there we go. So Libra, do your thing, boo. And yeah, that's all I have for you, Libra. Y'all own it. Y'all got it. Give your girl a thumbs up if you was fucking with me today, and subscribe to the channel, because I got some good video ideas coming up, and I would love to be able to create with you and your energy here a very, very beautiful energy that I tapped into today for you. And I thank you for allowing me to tap into your energy, and I thank you for doing the work, Libra. Continue to do the work, boo. But you must heal energies around your heart chakra if they need healing, and your solar plexus, and create. And also know that although, you know, holy matrimony is the connection between the divine feminine as the person and divine masculine, know that there are also other avenues of creating love by, whether it's decorating your house, or doing your makeup or hair, or styling, or picking out nice pieces, pawn shopping, whatever, creating, decorating. There are other ways for you to attract the energy of love and abundance that you want by making your own masterpiece, a passion project, if you will. So don't always go out trying to seek love, because if you're always trying to go out and seek something, you will be open to channels of energies that are looking to feed off of you, or feast off of you, prey onto you. And you don't want that. You want an energy that is reciprocal of you, and that is balancing your energy, so that way you don't tarnish your heart chakra, your sacral, and your lower chakras. Also, lastly, when I was looking at your energy, there is no earth here. I haven't really understood what that meant yet. I just seen 57. I'm gonna write that down next to no earth. 57. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a part 2 to your reading, and then we're going to tap into that. So stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, so that way you know you're updated when I do my next videos. And until next time, Libra, toodles, babes.